The Catholic Morning Show.
Welcome back to Iowa Catholic Radio. 17 minutes after the hour. We're glad that you are checking out of the work week here with us, getting ready for the weekend. We hope it's full of many, many blessings for you. I'm Bo Bonner with Alexia Baker, Brady Graham, and Ayden Pugh. All of us happy that you're here with us. Second half of the show, we'll get a chance to talk about the feasts of May, or at least the month of May being dedicated to Mary, and especially how it kicks off today with the Feast of St. Joseph the Worker, her spouse. But you know what? It's time to talk to our first guest of the day. Jason Anderson is Executive Director, Catholic Youth Camp. Jason, thank you for coming on the Catholic Morning Show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, before we dive any further into it, let's just get some of that information out there. So retreats coming up fast. What are some of the things that people can look forward to if what they have in mind is to take a retreat?
Yes, so we have all of our 26-27 school year retreats on our website, and later today I'm going to make the registration live, so people can actually start registering for retreats for next fall and spring of 27 starting later today. And those are for middle school through high school age and lots of different options.
And so when people want to do that, where can they go find that out, just so we can get that at the top of the interview?
Sure. Our website is stmcenter.com for St. Thomas More Center, stmcenter.com.
Well, when we think about the St. Thomas More Center, and it's a wonderful venue if anybody's ever had a chance to go out there. But can you maybe tell us the history of it a bit and where it's situated? Because it really is quite the gem that I think the diocese rightfully should let more people know about.
Sure. We are located in Panora, Iowa, right in the middle geographically of the diocese. We're on Lake Panorama, beautiful setting in the woods and on the lake. As far as history goes, for the early years, Catholic Youth Camp actually rented a camp space from the 4-H camp near Madrid, Iowa, for some years until the 1980s, when the camp grew enough to move here to our own property in Panora. And that's been going on since the 1980s.
When the decision was made, of course, to do things like this, the relevance, right, of Catholic Youth Camp, it's not like it's one of the 10 Commandments or a sacramental, but I will tell you, any diocese I've been a part of, Catholic Youth Camp usually shows up in some way or another, especially here in the United States. What do you think it is about this idea that youth camp in the summer is synonymous with, trying to do something like give retreats for the youth, especially, why do you think it's played such a central role for so much of the faith life in the United States?
I think there's something about, first of all, making the decision to get away either on a summer camp experience or a retreat, to step out of the day-to-day life, to step away from your phone and the screens and so on. And then once you arrive here, you experience this wonderful community that many people become part of for their whole life, lifelong friends. And through that, through the Holy Spirit and through that community, just transformational experiences happen in people's faith lives and in their whole lives. It's just amazing.
Well, to keep rolling on that one, if people, if kids are listening or parents listening and want to, tell their kids, what is it, the experience, not all the particulars, but in general, what can they expect and know that would be part of the offering if they go to Catholic Youth Camp?
Yeah, so for Catholic Youth Camp, of course, the kids want to know about the activities. So we have high ropes course, archery, fishing, mini golf, canoeing, swimming. We have a beautiful swimming pool. We're here on the lake, climbing wall, zip line, all kinds of fun things. And then special events like our talent show and our weekly campfires where we sing songs and tell stories, delicious meals, just everything you would expect from an awesome camp experience. And then our retreat season, we slow things down a little bit and we have more time in small groups and more time to really for prayer. And although we do have daily mass at Camp 2 and the opportunity for sacraments like reconciliation for our older campers. So just lots of different things going on.
Well, for you personally, so how long have you been a part of Catholic Youth Camp here in the diocese, and what has it meant for you? There's all sorts of, paths forward that people can choose to do, and you've chosen to go be with a bunch of rambunctious kids every summer. So, what is it about this this ministry, this apostolate that appealed to you in your life that you arrived here in this ministry?
Yeah, this is definitely my dream job. I'm originally from Wisconsin, and I ran camp programs for many, many years, many of them secular camps. But while I was doing that, I volunteered all the time in my parish with confirmation programs and as a catechist. And this opportunity really allowed me to blend my professional career as a camp professional and executive with my faith life. And so I couldn't be happier. This is just an amazing opportunity. I've been here, I'm heading into my 4th summer season.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, the idea of camp as a way of profession of life. I want to hear more about this because, of course, I think one thing people off the top of their head immediately think about kids, like you've already mentioned, stuck on their phones. It's easy to be indoors all day, the sort of technological pull, things like this. And so to say we are going to make a concerted effort for kids to get outdoors, to get out of nature, and like you said, step away from the rat race a bit. What was that called as, even when you did things in a secular camp situation, what called to you about providing precisely something like that for young people?
Yeah, I thought about a lot of different career opportunities. I even thought about going into counseling, which is such a rewarding and wonderful opportunity, and helping people when they're more in a situation of challenge. But I found that, meeting people in these high points of their life and these transformational experiences where they reflect back even years later and say that was something special. I've just found that that's where I want to be is bringing people to and guiding them through these unique and transformational experiences.
Well, now that you've been here for 4 years, what do you see as the role, the sort of place that Catholic Youth Camp here in the diocese, how does that thread into the larger picture of what we do here in the Diocese of Des Moines?
Our kids who come to camp say that attending Mass is one of their favorite parts of the day, if not their favorite. And it's no mistake that a number of the priests in our diocese have connected with Catholic Youth Camp in some way, either as counselors or campers or both. And so a lot of our campers are also very much involved in their parish life and, guided by that discipleship piece. So our hope is that when they have a camp experience here, that they're on fire to go back to their parish communities, back to their schools, and share Christ with others, and we see that a lot. So that's super exciting. Well, it definitely goes beyond camp.
Absolutely. You said spots are filling fast, and of course you mean for campers, but what about counselors, right? Are you guys still out there looking for counselors? Have you got enough of those? And what's it like for, experience-wise for the counselors? How is that its own transformative experience?
Well, I'm glad you worded it that way because we rely on our counselors very much. You have to be 16 at their high school through college students, and certainly they are giving back and helping our campers. But I believe that counseling is also very much an experience for them, and so they get to work with kids. They get to be part of the camp experience. It's a great volunteer experience. They get to come for 1 week, and they get to pick the week that they want to come and just have an amazing experience serving others and serving the Lord.
Well, now, before we let you go, we got to ask, are there any of the actual activities that you're good at and can still beat all of the kids? Like, archery, are you Robin Hood? Are you like splitting arrows on the bullseye? Or is there something else that you specifically, if you have to be called out to do it, could actually still win first place among all campers?
Well, I'll say two things. Archery, I really like archery, so I'm glad you mentioned that. But I still every year get fully trained on our ropes course protocols, and I always remind the staff that I'm with that I'm twice all of their age, so I can do it. I just need to give me an extra few minutes to climb up there.
The ropes course, just looking at it makes me more frightened than the bow and arrows. So I commend you greatly for still being part of the ropes course certification. Now, before we let you go, then go ahead one more time. When, where can people look to sign up? All of that good business.
Yep. So the website is stmcenter.com. And as I mentioned, enrollment for retreats is opening, but we are still very much actively enrolling for summer camp. Most of our spots for junior high and high school are full now, but there are spots, especially in the elementary camps. And we have 6 different weeks of elementary camps that you can pick from. And the other thing I'll say is that there's 2 sessions that are just 3 nights long, one at the beginning and one at the end of the summer, which are perfect for younger kids who've not been to camp before. And there are spots in both of those as well.
And so where can they go fill all this out and get all the information that they need?
Yeah, everything is online, all the registration, and the website is stmcenter.com, and they can find it all there. But of course, they can always call if they have questions.
Absolutely wonderful. Jason Anderson is the Executive Director for Catholic Youth Camp. Spots are filling fast, so make sure to go check it out. Jason, thank you for coming on the Catholic Morning Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Listen to the Catholic Morning Show weekdays at 7 a.m. Central on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, iowacatholicradio.com, or the Iowa Catholic Radio app.